We are back with another Pokemon Draft League video, taking on John Jr. and his Portland Nightshaders in the final week of BBR Season number 8. We have been locked in the playoffs for a while, and at 6-1 going into this game, a win to go 7-1 should give us a pretty good chance at getting the first seed of the standings, an amazing improvement after we finished last place in BBR Season 7. John has been talking all the smack going into this game, so despite us already locked for playoffs, we have extra motivation to shut down his 5-3 attitude in our final regular season game. If you have been enjoying the Pokemon Draft League content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are still working towards our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and every subscription helps a ton along that journey. Getting into the matchup, our team consists of Meowscarada, Iron Hands, Volcarona, Screamtail, Landorus Incarnate, Blastoise, Dragonite, Registeel, and Bruxish. John's team consists of Latios, Annihilape, Scizor, Weavile, Comfey, Sandyshox, Skarmory, Overqwil, and Quillfish. John has a Pokemon on his team that I consider a personal kryptonite of mine, and that is Annihilape. Rage Fist is a move that punishes U-turn, gaining 50 base points every time that Pokemon takes a hit. This is going to deter one of the ways I can gain a big advantage in matchups by forcing extremely difficult turns with Meowscarada and Landorus, leveraging U-turn to get a favorable position if a mid-ground attack is not readily available. Our team also struggles to switch into Rage Fist generally anyway, with our Ghost Resist being Meowscarada, which will have a difficult time living a fighting attack if John chooses to click it. Despite not having the ability to U-turn freely this week, John's team struggles to switch into Landorus effectively, with sheer force earth power dealing massive damage to most of his team. This will force him to either use his Scizor in a very defensive manner, or put his Latios at risk of U-turn if Annihilape is at very low HP. With this being our last week of the regular season and already being locked for playoffs, we're going to make an effort to bring Dragonite on the team this week, the only Pokemon on our draft yet to feature. Luckily for us, it's actually one of my best ways to deal with Annihilape in this matchup, leveraging the multi-scale ability to take any attack it wants to throw at me, even boosted with Bulk Up, and then threaten it with the powerful Hurricane. It also gives me another option against John's Scizor and a Latios check in a pinch if I'm at full HP. Our build starts with Protective Pads Meowscarada this week, a great lead against most of John's common leads. The Protective Pads is key to protect against Rocky Helmets that John may bring, keeping our Meowscarada at high HP throughout the game. We are running the typical stab options in Flower Trick and Knockoff, with Flower Trick being particularly important against Bulk Up Annihilape if it is able to get set up on one of our other Pokemon. Sucker Punch finishes off the set as a way to catch potential Agility Latios sets, something that John can use to take advantage of with Weakness Policy and various U-turn users that we have on this build. Landorus is great as an offensive breaker this week, with his only ground resist being either weak to U-turn or exploitable by gravity. Life Orb Earth Power is a great click here, especially with gravity added to prevent Skarmory from being able to switch in for free. U-turn is a great move to gain momentum here, as Latios, John's other ground immunity, is dealt massive damage by U-turn if it tries to come in to block the Earth Power. Sludge Wave is our other coverage move on the set this week, giving us a way to deal massive damage to John's Comfey. As I mentioned in the matchup portion, we wanted to make sure we got Dragonite on the team this week, as it serves a very important role on this team in managing John's Annihilape. It's most likely that John is going to focus most, if not all of his EVs in the defensive stats, primarily his special defense, so we can run just 92 speed EVs to outspeed 8 speed Annihilape. This speed is critical as it means we are able to use Encore to lock John into Bulk Up on a switch, neutralize any potential sweeping that Annihilape might be able to do. Roost is important for longevity in this battle, as we're going to be wanting to get back into multi-scale as much as possible, which we can protect from with entry hazards as well with our heavy duty boots. Draco Meteor is our main damaging move over Hurricane this week, mainly due to its ability to kill Latios if we are able to lure it in with our multi-scale up. Flamethrower is key for dealing with the Scizor and Skarmory, which with our 144 special attack EVs and Modest Nature will always 2-hit KO, especially defensive Skarmory. We didn't cover it in the matchup portion, but Weavile is a massive problem for my team, able to outspeed all of my offensive threats. Luckily, Iron Hands is a great dark resist, and with the Rocky Helmet, can also punish Triple Axis very effectively. Drain Punch is our move to hit Weavile, allowing us to gain HP back on any Pokemon that may want to switch in. Thunder Punch gives us another stab move for maximum damage, mainly to cover switches into Annihilape if John wants to get aggressive on Drain Punch turns. Ice Punch and Earthquake give us 2 super effective options for his Latios and Sandy Shocks, 2 potential ways John can check this Pokemon to open it up for the Weavile. Screamtail has an important job this week, not only checking John's Latios, but also providing extra cover against Setup Annihilate. Heavy Duty Boots is the item as per usual, protecting against potential spikes and toxic spikes from Overquill or Quillfish, lowering the utility of these Pokemon as leads. We are running Stealth Rocks this week to help pressure threats like Weavile, deterring them from coming in as much as possible. Encore is here to help manage Annihilate, which with 88 speed, we outspeed all 252 speed Annihilate sets, giving us multiple ways to keep that Pokemon in check. Dazzling Gleam then gives us offensive coverage for the Annihilate as well as the Latios, and Weavile in Flamethrower allows us to hit the Scissor and Skarmory for good damage. Finally, we have a setup Volcarona set that can easily win us the game if we get a Quiver Dance off. We are running just Dual Stab this week, foregoing a coverage move for the Quillfish, as we have plenty of Pokemon on the rest of the team that can deal with it in the early game. Morning Sun is particularly important on this set to allow us to get out of range of priority moves on Pokemon like Weavile, whose Ice Shard could still do a good amount of damage depending on the set. And that is our team for the final week of BBR Season 8. Thank you to everyone for all of the support so far this season. It's been great to be back to winning ways in the BBR. I'm super excited for playoffs. But enough of that, let's get into the final week of the regular season and see if we can spoil John's party and knock him out of playoffs. Alright, we are in the battle against John. As I said in the intro to this game, John's been talking real loud for someone who's 5'3", so we're going to have to put him in his place today and get a big victory. His team, he's got his Latios, Weavile, Overquill, Annihilate, Sandy Shocks, and Scizor. All the Pokemon you only ever see John Jr. play with. It's kind of a tough lead scenario for me for kind of a multitude of reasons, but I think I'm just going to lead with the Meowscarada. The problem with this lead is that I get threatened out by a lot of Scarf leads, something like the Lottie. But you know, Screamtail and Iron Hands both do a good job of actually managing that lead. Alright, so good luck, have fun to John, and let's get into it. Big Man is the lead. Let's see if we can get any sort of information on this Pokemon. I mean, he could be Scarf. That would be kind of a hysterical lead off the bat if he's just Scarf fucking Big Man. Well, alright, that gives us that information right away. This is an Air Balloon. This is Air Balloon. Alright, so why is he Air Balloon? He's just Air Balloon for the Lando, which is, you know, perfectly fine. So we're just going to go for the U-turn here. Break this thing's Air Balloon. And get a little bit of information on that Pokemon. This looks to be... I guess it's like almost impossible to garner like any sort of real information off of that. I could expect an Ice move or some sort of like Poison move here. I think Iron Hands is my best bet. This Pokemon is relevant for Weavile, of course, something we have to keep in mind. But I'm just going to go into it here because it's my best initial way to switch into any of the common hits that he might want to go for. As I said, we do have to be really mindful of the Weavile, of course, and the potential that that has. He's just going to set up the Toxic Spikes. A bold play against someone who runs a lot of heavy-duty boots. You know, I think, you know, I would hope John would make, you know, a better play than that. Heaven forbid. He watched my videos and know that I run a lot of heavy-duty boots. I don't know why I'm putting the hate. He thought a lot before this game. I can give it to him a little bit. Overquill, now that we know that it's some sort of Toxic Spike setup set, it kind of can determine a little bit of how we want to go. I don't actually, yeah, like once again, I actually don't really care about this. The only thing it really impacts like is my Meowscarada. It does actually pressure my Iron Hands, which is not great. That's one thing I, you know, as I said, I kind of have to keep in mind here. He could go into Annihilate, is a possibility. So I kind of do want a Thunder Punch to protect against that. I'm already losing a lot of like timer, just like not having everything set up the way that I would like it. I'm just going to go for the Thunder Punch. If I get some chip on Annihilate, then that's chip on Annihilate. He might expect something like an Earthquake, and he does go Annihilate perfectly. So the one thing I have to be mindful of is giving Rage Boosts, but I do want to get some information on that Pokemon as quickly as possible. And maybe I should have just gone to Dragonite there, so maybe a little bit of a misstep on the first couple turns, but once again, we do have Dragonite here. To kind of come in on this Pokemon at this juncture. With, you know, we have Encore, we have a lot of ways to manage it. He might expect Hurricane to come out. think this is at least a good sequence for me right now. And we do have Encore on Dragonite as well, in case he tries to do any setup nonsense on me. The one thing to be mindful of is my speed only really covers min speed. Okay, so he does go for bulk up here. Question is how much speed is he actually running? He went for a very defensive set, and I do have Encore, so I am just going to be able to hopefully Encore lock him into this here. So I'm just going to go for Encore. With my 92 speed, I should be fine. Unless he's some sort of max speed variant. But I could see him trying to set up. He might predict also just a Hurricane to come out here. Hurricane does actually kill him from this HP, depending on my set. And the way that I brought it in will probably make him believe that I'm designed to beat this. So we'll see how John wants to play this off the bat. And perfect, I get the Encore. So I am faster, so he is min speed. That is important to note. He is a min speed. So that means that we can just kind of lock this Pokemon down forever. Now, the one thing to keep in mind with this is that, we don't want to sit there and like attack it and do no damage for no reason. We do actually have to take advantage of these Encore turns. So he does have 2 turns of Encore left. I can go on one of them and go into my Landorus. Landorus is pretty nice here. In this spot, it lets in Lottie for free, but I do have boots on this. I can even go into... No, I can't go into this. I'm trying to think why he would stay. So he's got to be spit out. So I'm just going to go into Landorus, use one of these turns of Encore to put pressure on this Annihilate. Once again, I have to be mindful. These Rage Fists are going to get really powerful really quickly. And he's going to withdraw. Okay, let's see what we catch him with. If he's trying to catch yeah, he's going to go into Big Man. This is a really good turn for me. Because now I threaten a really powerful Earth Power here. And there's not really much he can do. He can go Lottie, but U-turn is such a free play here that I think he might try to go Annihilate to kind of stack those Rage Fist boosts. I think is how he wants to play. And even if he goes Lottie, I do have Scream Tail, which is just super fine to manage. And I have Sucker Punch and Meowscarada, perfectly okay with any of those scenarios. He withdraws Big Man. I really think he's going to go Annihilate here to get the U-turn. He goes into Crab Legs. I think that's something completely different. That is a Scizor. Okay, perfect. So big Earth Power here. That gives us some good information on that set. Really, really good to get that information. Earth Power. This is like Assault Vest, surely. Yeah, this is like fully Spit F Assault Vest. Yeah, this is literally like almost fully Spit F Assault Vest. Wow. Bullet Punch is not doing a ton here, and he doesn't have Roost. The problem is he can knock off on me here, so I'm just going to U-turn off of this thing. He doesn't go to the, what is it called? The Annihilate, which is good there. I have to be really mindful of U-turning here. One of the last times I played John with the Annihilate, I U-turned into it so many times. It was just super ineffective. So I have to really be mindful not to do that in this spot. I don't think he's going to go for the knockoff here, if I had to guess. I think he's going to go for a slow U-turn. And I kind of want to go into... If I let Latios in for free, like one of the Pokemon I'm really not scared of letting in for free is Latios in this game, because they do have Scream Tail, which is just such a good way to lock that Pokemon down. So I'm just going to go into Dragonite here. I don't think a knockoff is coming. If it is coming, that's perfectly fine. We have Roost on this set. He just goes for the dual Wing Beat. Okay. Protecting against the Iron Hands here. And we protect our heavy-duty boots. Really crucial to do that. This is a tough switch in for him now because Flamethrower is super obvious. He can go into something like the Overquill. He can go back into Annihilate. I mean, I kind of just want to drop a Draco on this Pokemon, to be perfectly honest. I think that's going to be my best play. If I had to guess what his Annihilate set is, like, I don't think he goes into Annihilate because he knows that I have that kind of under control with this set. I think Overquill is likely his best switch into this. So I'm just going to drop a Draco, try to catch that Overquill coming in and deal a lot of damage to that Pokemon and get that out of the way early. Yeah, he goes to Overquill, perfect. If I hit this Draco, that's a really good turn for me. There we go, we get the Draco hit. How much is this going to do? Perfect, we get the kill. All right, awesome. Dragonite, in its first game of the season, picks up its first kill. drops the Overquill, and that is one of John's pivots out of the way. Now, unfortunately, it was a good turn for Landorus to come in on the Overquill as well. Landorus has so many really good turns in this game, given that the 680 Brawn. I know he has Scizor, that's Assault Vest, but that gets to a KO now on switch in, so that is not an option for him to go into anymore after the Earth Power plus U-turn damage. So now he's in a little bit of a bind here. I expect Weavile, and this is where kind of a problem is going to come into play with those T-Spikes. Why early T-Spike was good for him. Iron Hands is going to have a real bad time dealing with this Weavile. It's going to be really tough, and I can't really click into the Annihilate either. He's just going to go into this. Perfectly fine. As I said, free turns for Lottie is perfectly reasonable for me in this battle, because I have Screamtail to go to every time. I'd like to even get Rocks up this turn. Rocks I don't think actually matter too much in this game, realistically, but it breaks any random focus sashes that could exist on something like maybe the Weavile if you wants to run Sash instead of heavy duty boots. Don't think that's a possibility, and I think Flip Turn is likely the most probable move to come out here. Yeah, and he just goes for the Flip Turn. I'm okay with that. You know, all things considered, that's not a big deal. So we know AV, we know this has Flip Turn. We don't know anything about the Sandy Shocks. We don't know anything about the Annihilate outside of Bulk Up. We know it's min speed though. So if I look, I'm going to make sure that I've done the speed correctly on Screamtail. It should always outspeed, given that our Dragonite outsped. Yeah, because we have a lot more speed in our Screamtail this week. I think we're outspeeding Adam at max speed this week. And in comes Crab Legs, perfectly fine with that one here. I do have Flamethrower, worth considering the calc on this. Obviously it's not going to kill because of the fact that this is Assault Vested. Like, Flamethrower is not doing anything. That's a really good bring on his part, actually. Bullet Punch is not doing anything either. So the question here is, like, does he like make a different play because of that? And do I need to preserve this Screamtail? Like, how do I maintain the effectiveness of this Screamtail long term into this game? You know, he has the dual wing beat as an option, so we know that I don't think he wants the Bullet Punch here. I think he's still just dual wing beats. I think it's probably his best play into what I've done, and I think I can afford to take damage on this, given the fact that we've dealt with, you know, we know that Latios is a Flip Turn set, so this thing has probably got a good chance of being able to manage it even at lower HP. So let's go for the Flamethrower. Let's get some damage here. He's not going to Bullet Punch, so that's good. We're going to save a lot of damage here. Any burns? No burns. He's going to knock off. Okay, so that is a little bit frustrating, actually. So getting knocked off here is going to be really problematic. Going to be really problematic for the Toxic Spikes coming out. So that actually makes our Latios, well, Voice Crack, our Latios matchup just that little bit worse. But I think that play ends up working out because I don't think I have anything else I really want to get knocked off here. I think he's really just likely to Bullet Punch, if I had to be honest. I think that's probably just the play he's going to go for. If he goes into Annihilate after, I can just Dazzling Gleam. It can even sack this off. I know that's aggressive, but we do have Meowscarada in the back with Sucker Punch. So I'm just going to Flamethrower, let him Bullet Punch me if he wants. If he goes Annihilate, then I can start using my Encore Dazzling Gleam tools to manage that Pokemon. I think we're starting to be in a really good spot here at this point. He doesn't even Bullet Punch. Okay, so we preserve a lot of HP on this Pokemon, which is massive. Preserving HP on this Pokemon is super important. Because of that Toxic Spike, we do want the ability to Encore Latios if we have to. And we still have the opportunity to get up a Stealth Rock at some point, so. Alright, good early game so far. A lot going well for me. John's got a lot of his super offensive Pokemon left though, which is not good. We've managed to break through his defenses, and in comes the Spanky. So he's going to look to try to get aggressive here on the setup. So what is he likely going to be? He's probably going to be Spadaf as a setup option. So we are at 100 on the Rage Fist here. So Rage Fist is doing 50% from this Pokemon right now. Once again, I don't think I want to sack this Pokemon off, and I don't really want to get crazy with like doing damage to this Pokemon. I kind of do want to get Rocks up. Problem is I just don't have a great switch into this right now. Do I just play it in a sense that I kind of expect the Rage Boost to get super powerful and I win eventually? I think I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam. I am faster. If he tries to Bulk Up, then I get a good turn off here. I want to just keep this Pokemon as low as possible. He goes for the Rage Fist. That's going to do a lot of damage. I'm pretty much going to have to sack this Pokemon off at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's not a great turn for me. I probably, I didn't have a great Rage Fist switch in at that point. I really let this thing get high in terms of its ability to deal a lot of Rage Fist damage. We should be able to basically confirm the type of thing. So like that, this should just be the sped up set, given everything that we're seeing here. We can just go into Dragonite here, and I am just going to go into the Dragonite on this specific turn. Dragonite's just such a good answer to this Pokemon still. It is not in a range yet where it dies to Draco, but we can roost our way into where we're not really, we can roost past all of these Rage Fists at this point still. So I'm just going to go for the roost. I think he's going to probably switch out into Sandy Shocks here. If I had to guess, do I get aggressive and try to kill the Sandy Shocks here? Because if he goes for the rest, then I can just go into the go into this. I still have a lot of tools that look good for me here. I think I'm just going to Roost. Roost is my safest play. Even if he goes Sandy Shocks, then I still have a lot of good plays around that right now. He just withdraws. I should have Draco'd. Draco'd would have been such a raw play at that point in time. Wow, that would have been such a good play for me to make. Damn, that's tough. That's really tough. But the Roost is good here. The Roost is actually good. So now that I'm back to 100% though, this Latios is not going to be able to kill me with the Choice Spec set. Draco's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to do a lot of damage. That's kind of, understood here. I don't have a great switch into Draco though at this point. I think one of my best ways to win is setting up with the Volcarona. Eventually, that's going to have to be one of the ways that I win. I think I should have Draco'd. I think that might have been a soft play not to Draco. And I think he's going to flip turn here if I had to guess. But I think Draco is the safest play. So I live Timid Choice Specs Draco here. Is there any reason for him to be modest? No, because he has to outspeed the Landorus. I think he's going to flip turn. I'm going to drop a Draco. He is going to flip turn. All right, that's huge. That's huge. This is a great turn for me. Great turn for me. I make up for not clicking that move earlier. And I don't know if he goes Annihilate here. He goes Sandy Shocks. Oh, this would be huge to get a Draco off on Sandy Shocks. Big damage here into Sandy Shocks. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. That is Assault Vest. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's good to know. Wow. He's bringing a lot of Assault Vest this week. Yeah, he's literally just kitted out with Assault Vest at this point. I think a screen's going to get set up here. It's John Jr. He's going to try to find it, but he's going to get a screen up. That's just what he's going to want to do here at this point. My play is to go into the... What is it called? Into... Oh, he's just going to double out. All right, let's see what he goes into. Annihilate, probably? He goes into Thin Mint. Okay. That's a good play on his part. He's got to get aggressive with this Latios at some point. And he catches my Landorus coming in. So now I'm getting into the point where I got to start losing some Pokemon. Because I lost the Screamtail early. And I still think Screamtail trading for Scizor was fine. I'm still like okay generally with that trade. But I have to be mindful now of what I sack. I think given that he's AV Sandy Shocks, he's just such a specially defensively bulky team that I gotta think about my way to win this game now. So Meowscarada looks really good in this game because he looks to be choiced Lottie. Sucker Punch is going to be huge in that instance. So we're going to want to preserve that. Rocks would have been really nice to punish all of this, and maybe I should have at some point. Click that. We need Iron Hands for Weavile as an initial switch at some point. Still in this game. Volcarona is starting to become the least useful. Dragometer does a shit ton to this Pokemon, man. Alright, I'm just going to go Volcarona. I think the utility of Volcarona is just going down. I still feel like Landorus has good utility here against that AV Shocks, against the Annihilate, but I still have turns I can position that. I really just don't think I have a turn I can position this Volcarona against. That looks to be Choice Scarf actually instead. That is Choice Scarf damage. That did what? 241? That is max roll from Choice Scarf. It's actually good for me because he doesn't kill with the next one. The question here is what are the damage calcs on Annihilate? Fiery Dance is a 2-hit KO here on that HP that Pokemon was at. The question is, do I want to go for it? I can, he has to kill me. He can go for the rest. If he goes for the rest, I can go into my other Pokemon. I think he's really just going to go into, what is it called? The Andy Shocks, to be honest. So I think I want to get aggressive. My plan is still to sack the Volcarona, and I think I get aggressive into Landorus here. He is going to still be faster, so he just might be Expert Belt or something here. So this is probably going to be a flip turn here. Yeah, okay. We should take that pretty well. Not a big deal. Okay, so he's not choice, so he actually hit that pretty well, but that's good to note. So we get information that this could be some E-Belt scenario, and in comes this. Okay, so make him use up all the moves. That's pressure. Okay. Well, we have Iron Hands for a reason here, so we're just going to go into that. Not clicking Draco Meteor on that turn, I think, is going to be the downfall, because if I Draco and kill that Latios, the game's over, I think, at that point. I don't think John has enough tools here. A lot of the tools that he has that are keeping him in this game right now are related around that Latios. So, unfortunate there. But we're going to get a lot of information here on this Weavile, which is going to be really important. We're going to get Poison, which is not great. And he's going to knock off. Okay. So we lose the Rocky Helmet. Knockoff did. We're going to get to know the set that this is. So to 55. This is Jolly. The question here now is if we look at the Annihilate. I don't have speed on this. Is a problem. Like this is a problem here. Not having the speed. If I had speed on this, then I can freely Thunder Punch. I don't think he can Drain Punch here. I really don't. Or I don't think he can attack. So I kind of want to double into Dragonite. I just don't see the reason to switch. And maybe this is just getting overly aggressive here, and there's no need to. I guess I can look at the Landorus calc, because Landorus is a lot safer to do this with, because I don't need this Pokemon as much as the Dragonite right now. So I'm going to double into this Pokemon, calling him to switch. Perfect. All right, that's good. Just don't go Lottie. Ice Punch, could cover. All right, he goes into this. This is huge. He has to make a decision between Rest and killing my Landorus. And that's really, really good for me here, because I force a really powerful Earth Power here. I could U-turn. U-turn's such a bot play, though. Oh, I put myself in an awkward position here. I put myself in an awkward position here by doing this. If I wanted to Dragonite, I think that would have been a little bit more optimal on this specific turn sequence. I'm starting to run out of options against Annihilate, which is not great. Hurricane, I have to think what the best course of action here is. It's highly likely that I have Psychic here. And Timid Psychic kills. So I think he has to know that calc. And I think he knows that this is his win condition in this game, and he's not going to sack it. So I'm going to U-turn. If he U-turns, I just sack Volcarona. And that just has to be what it is. I just don't see a world where he sacks this at this point, where it's so good against my team. Perfect. Okay, good. Going to Lottie. Going to Lottie would be massive on this turn. And he does. All right, perfect. We get that turn right. That's going to be a lot of damage. And we know this isn't choice now, so Meowscarada gets a free turn here. And this, so much damage there. Really needed that turn to go right. And now I think we've put ourselves in kind of the driver's seat here. I really want to do the Meowscarada calcs against this Annihilate, and they're looking really good right now. They're looking really good. This is going to be such a huge knockoff here. If he goes into Annihilate, we can just Flower Trick. If he just lets us have this, then we can go into Iron Hands on the Weavile. We can even sack the Volcarona. And we definitely want to keep this Landorus now. We definitely need to keep this Landorus, because it's going to be useful against Sandy Shocks in that end game scenario. So, huge knockoff turn coming here. Does he let me have this Pokemon? Does he go into something like the Annihilate or the Sandy Shock? So let's see what he elects to do. But that U-turn, game-changing there, honestly. I could even U-turn myself, but I think Annihilate coming in and eating that is just too much of a risk here. I'd rather just kill this Pokemon. And him honestly go into... Is U-turn the better play? I think U-turn is honestly the better play, because I don't think he goes Annihilate here, because he just dies to knockoff. He just dies to kind of anything. So I'm just going to U-turn, keep up momentum. Oh, he is going to switch, really? He goes Sandy Shocks. Okay, perfect. That gives me another really good turn here. All right, knockoff on this would have been really good. I kind of thought he wasn't going to go Annihilate, but that's a lot of damage on that Sandy Shocks. Frig, what do I want to go into now? I think I just go into Landorus here, honestly. I think Landorus is my best play at this point. This Earth Power is so threatening to him. Question is, do I go for the U-turn again? And like, am I going to do that? Or does he give up this Sandy Shocks here? That's an interesting question to think that. I've lost a lot of time here. I've spent a lot of time thinking through these turns because they've been super difficult here to actually get right. If I U-turn, I have to sack the Volcarona. I want to preserve Volcarona as a sack. I think I'm just going to Earth Power. It gives me the chance to get this Pokemon. He might just sack it off here because I think he might. Yeah, all right, perfect. He's going to sack it off. I've gotten in his head at this point. So he doesn't go Latios there. He gets Lando picks up another kill, and he's quickly running out of Pokemon here. Quickly running out of Pokemon. The question here now becomes interesting. So I don't need this Pokemon anymore. This Pokemon has accomplished all that I needed to at this point. Question is does he go Weavile here and try to double into Annihilate and try to get some extra Rage Boost? So Rage Boost is 150 right now. But once again, Meowscarada is in a really good spot with that Pokemon. The problem there is, though, is that because we don't kill, yeah, I figured he would go into this. I really got to think about what I want to go into next. Because if I go into Weavile, or we look at Weavile offensive against Volcarona, the knockup's going to do a lot. I could just honestly sack off Volcarona here. Because this lander is still forced a really powerful turn against the, what's it called? It still forced a very powerful turn against, I just don't have the speed to do this. Because I have to go Iron Hands. I have to go Iron Hands after the fact. I think I'm going to sack Volcarona here. I don't like any of the options that I'm presented with. I'm just going to sack Volcarona here. I don't like any of the options I had at this point. You know, I hope he goes for like a knockoff or something. I think he might just go for... Oh, he goes for triple... Oh, I get a big chance to get a burn here. Come on, any burns? No burn. Come on, where's my burn? Jeez, no burn on the triple axle is massive there. That is a huge, huge turn. All right, this is the moment of truth. I have to go into this. Question here now is, if he rests... All right, I think I Thunder Punch here. I think Thunder Punch is my best play because he can go Annihilate still, but if he tries to kill this, then I just Thunder Punch again. So I'm Thunder Punching here every time on Annihilate. I have to keep that thing low at this point. I kind of have to just accept the fact that the Rage Fist is just going to be out of control and I have to outspeed it to kill it. That just has to be the reality I have to accept at this point. I've played it. I played it into that way, unfortunately. That's just kind of how I played things here. This game. So we're at 200 now. Oh, he goes into Thin Man, really? Oh, I would really like a pair on this. No, okay. Did not expect him to go that. I think Flip Turn is super obvious here. What is the calc of Latios? I'm gonna have the calc expert belt now. Luster Purge does fucking 3,000 to this. But if he does go that, then I get an unbelievable turn with my, I get a good turn, I get a good U-turn off with my, what is it called? My Meowscarada. So I'm gonna Thunder Punch here. I think it's aggressive. I need this though for Weavile. Fuck. I'm just running out of time here. That I know I just don't have. Maybe I sack off Dragonite at this point. I'm gonna go into Dragonite. I think if he Luster Purges, it's fine. If he drops a Draco, you know, he has a chance to miss. I think at this point I am running out of options and running out of time. And if he goes for the Flip Turn, I think this is... Oh, he misses. Oh my god. I mean, I kind of had that plan baked in a little bit to, like, I mean, I'm planning to sack this, and this doesn't really matter for this specific turn. So I'm just going to drop my own Draco, see if he... he's probably going to play around E-Speed, to be honest with you. At this point, he kind of has to. He's seen Roost. He hasn't seen my last move yet, and the fact that I harded into this, I think that's something he has to respect on this turn. Man, what a game this was, honestly, for the last game of the season. This game is going right down to the wire. I really wish I Draco'd on that turn earlier to get rid of this Latios. That would have, like, pretty much ended this game, because I would have had, like, a great opportunity to get a knockoff onto the Annihilate and put into a situation where I would have been able to revenge it with Landorus. And I still think I'm in a good spot, but I think he has to. I think he's going to have to play around this extreme speed and go into the Annihilate? Is that what he's going to do? Is that what he's going to do? Thing is that even good for him here? He's going to Draco. Okay, so I just die here. Yeah, okay. I just lose my Dragonite. Dragonite, honestly, for this game, put in a good performance. Can't really complain about Dragonite this game. I'm going to go back into my... I'm going to go into my Meowscarada here and U-turn here. I can't obviously play into... I think he's going to sack this, so I have to be mindful of... the Landorus is going to be obviously... I mean, the Annihilate can come in here. But I don't think he can risk a knockoff here. Knockoff is super free, so I think U-turn is my best play. Because it kills this, and if I kill it, I can just go into Landorus, sack that off to the... what is it called? I'm actually running out of sacks now is the problem, too. I'm running out of sacks. Alright, I'm going to get this. So, Latios, it goes down to... Latios goes down to Meowscarada. I need that Pokemon here for... I think Meowscarada has to be my sack. And I have to go into Lando at some point. Alright, so here, what do I want to bait in? I think I go Lando. If I go Lando... I think I'm running... I think I'm out of options here at this point. I think John's going to be able to checkmate this as a 1-0 here at this point. I think I have to dodge a move here at this point. I think dodging a move here is my play. Though I think here, so I preserve this. I go hard into Iron Hands. If he doubles into Spanky, that's a good play. There's not much I can do about that. I think I just put him in a spot where he has to rest. I think I just go into this. If he doubles, then he bulks up, but if he doubles and bulks up, then I don't think I have a way to play around that specific turn sequence. And he did stay in because I was faster there. So triple axle, we are gonna be able to. All right, we do live the second one after poison. Man, not getting this burn, super changed the tide of this game. Unfortunately, I mean, my play is to just have to check the Weavile calc. Thunder Punch doesn't even freaking kill. I think he doesn't risk miss. I don't think he can risk a miss here. So I'm just going to Thunder Punch. This could be obviously really aggressive. All right. It goes into Annihilate. Question is here is how does he go about this now? Man, a Para here would be game changing if I get it. Is this a 2-hit KO? So the question is, does he have rest? If he goes for rest, then I think I'm in a good... he has to attack me here. I think I'm just out of moves here at this point. I think I have to hope for a miss on triple axle, I guess, with the guy here, with the Meowscarada. I guess that's my game plan at this point. I've taken too much damage on this Pokemon. I guess we Thunder Punch. If he rests, he rests. There's not really much I can do about that. I think we're going to have to play this still 1-0. That's fine. He could have low kick, actually. Yeah, I think I just go into Meowscarada and go for the knockoff here. I get myself into a dark type to protect against... I mean, if he has low kick, he has low kick. I mean, there's not much I'm going to do about... There's nothing I can do about that at this point. I'm not going to play around that. I think this is my play to win, not my play to get differential at this point. This should kill at this range, given all the calcs I've done. Perfect. All right. It comes down to this triple axle roll. I've gotten rid of the ice type. He has to hit all of his triple axle hits here. If he misses just one, then we're fine, because we just U-turn and kill this. Or we Flower Trick. Or, wait, this is just a grass type now. I just Flower Trick here. Flower Trick has a good amount of chance to kill. Alright, just don't hit all of the triple axles. Miss one. Oh my god, and he misses one. Wow. Oh my god, and this should kill. It doesn't kill. Oh, it's super bulky. Shit. Oh my god, he's got so much bulk on that. What am I missing in my calc? No, that was always the most damaging move. Wow, you just had a lot of bulk there. All right, missed again, I guess. Wow, I thought that was more than enough to kill. But I guess it wasn't. Wow. All right. Well, good game to John. What a game of Pokemon this is. He just goes for the knockout. That's a safe play. Of course, Ice Shard does kill the Landorus now, and it's a big one. What a game of Pokemon, honestly. Against John. I think, obviously, we talked a lot of mess going into this game, certainly. And I think, my big regret is not Draco Meteoring with the Dragonite in that game. But, alas, it is what it is. I guess if he doesn't have Ice Shard, I can still win this game. But, we'll see. He does have Ice Shard. Okay. So, good game to John. We finished the season off 6-2. And with only losing 1 differential point, I'm not going to reveal any of the other things that happened in this week. So make sure to watch all of the games from this week. OG Albina, Pokebaldi, Matthew Drafts, Panther, Ant. A lot of big games to watch out for. But next week is playoffs, and we will reveal who we are playing next week. So stay tuned for that. We will see you all next time. And as always, have a wonderful day.